everyone, welcome back to my show. As always, my name is Brittney. This is the Brittney Reacts show. And on this show, we go over different entertainment news, movie news, TV news. I've been updating you guys a lot about the strikes, and today we have some really interesting stories to go over. So apparently, we are not getting a Wonder Woman 3. It looks like James Gunn lied, or maybe Gal Gadot lied. I don't think that's true. We're going to talk about it. Also, the strikes. Again, the strikes are really just highlighting how poorly everyone gets paid. So we're going to talk about some of the strike updates, some other fun entertainment news as well. But overall, we have a fun stream today. How is everyone doing? Hi, Will French. Hi, Connor Garrett. Hi, Little Joe's Animation. Hi, Brianna Does Art. Hi, Glitchmation. Hi, Therese. Hi, David. Hi, Josh. Hi, Baby. Hi, Shavivi. Hi, Hayan. Hi, Koharu. Hi, V. Hi, Luciana. Hi, everyone who's here. Again, thank you everyone who comes here each and every day. I do these live streams every day at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so please join us. Also, I noticed that about 30% of the people who watch these streams are actually not subscribed. So please let us hit our goal of 80k subscribers and subscribe today so you never miss a live stream. Alright guys, now let's jump into our first news of the day. And I wanted to just start off with the Wonder Woman stuff because that's what I put on the thumbnail. That's the main thing that I think you guys are probably going to be interested in today. So let me give you some background knowledge on what the heck is going on with this. So as many of you probably know, James Gunn has recently taken over DC. And I honestly thought for a minute there that I thought he could do a good job. A lot of people were like, oh no, he's going to be terrible. And I was like, well, I think he's a good director. He might do okay. Well, honestly, everything he's done since then has convinced me that no, maybe that he wasn't the right person for the job. Because he's been much worse at it than I could have ever possibly imagined. And he's making really dumb mistakes that I feel like he should have known better. But let's talk about it. So basically what James Gunn has been doing, he's been promising everyone from the old DCEU that, yeah, you're going to stick around, pretty much everyone except for Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck. He's like, yeah, you could stick around. Yeah, we could still make movies together. Yeah, you could still make your Ayer cut. Yeah, you can still have your Wonder Woman 3. Yeah, we're totally bringing back Shazam. Oh yeah, Ezra Miller's Flash is totally sticking around. He's just been promising everyone everything. And poor Gal Gadot was apparently promised by both James Gunn and Peter Safran that she was in the best hands, that they were going to develop a Wonder Woman 3 with her because they loved her as Wonder Woman. They loved her. Apparently those were their words. And that she had nothing to worry about. Like, how sick and twisted is that? Because now that was like Gal Gadot just a few weeks ago saying that, yay, they promised me we're doing Wonder Woman 3. We even talked about it on this live stream. Do you guys remember, like maybe a week or two ago? I don't remember how long ago it was, but I talked about it on my live stream about Wonder Woman 3 possibly happening and how I thought that was a crazy dumb idea because they should just be rebooting from scratch. So it looks like that's still happening. There's still a good chance that maybe James Gunn is rebooting more than we think. But then why is he going around promising people that they're going to get a sequel or a reboot or whatever when I don't think he actually means it? Because now we're getting reports that nothing was ever promised to Gal Gadot about Wonder Woman 3, and that there hasn't been any discussion about her returning at all. And I just find that highly sus, because I think James Gunn is lying here. And I know he's lying here. I'm not even thinking. I know he's lying. Because he actually had comments on Twitter confirming this from like weeks and weeks, months ago. Look at this. This is just replying to different fans saying, any word on Gal Gadot? Did you have a meeting with her? Yet, by the way, it'd be interesting. Let's go. And then James Gunn said, yes, we did meet with her weeks ago. So this is James Gunn on his own Twitter account 26 weeks ago, confirming that they did actually have a meeting with Gal Gadot, even though now the report is coming out saying that there was never a meeting at all. So he's just lying. And then here's this one. Another fan just says, looking forward to seeing the new projects, but I am disappointed you guys let Henry and Gal go. And then James says, we didn't let Gal go. And so what are you talking about? This was just him 26 weeks ago being like, yeah, we're totally working with Gal again. Yeah, we totally met and discussed Wonder Woman 3. And now suddenly it's all, oh, we never talked about anything. Gal's essentially crazy. She doesn't know what she's talking about. No, I don't believe that. It is very shady, Connor. Very shady. I don't believe James Gunn one bit. I think he got caught in multiple lies at this point. And at this point, I'm asking myself, how can any fans trust a word that James Gunn says? He lies through his teeth. He lies through his teeth. It's crazy. I know DD got caught in his own lies. Josh Loves Movie says the Monopoly movie is still in the works at Lionsgate. Is that still happening, Josh? Why? I know Wixos Tricks caught red-handed. They really were. They really were. And here's the thing why I think it's crazy. I never thought they should have made a Wonder Woman 3 in the first place. Because I don't think that Gal needs... Well, okay, personally I should say, obviously I love Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I thought the first Wonder Woman was very, very good. The second one, not so much. But I at least thought she was good as the role. Like, I genuinely feel bad that things didn't work out better for her. But DC as a whole is such a disaster. It's just such a huge mess right now that I'm like, the only solution I can see for this, if the only thing I can see that can fix DC is just rebooting from scratch. I'm not talking about keeping a single person from the DCEU. They all gotta go, including Gal. So it makes sense that they're not moving forward with Gal. That's not my issue. My issue is that they seem to have lied to her about it, and everyone else promising that, oh yeah, we're gonna be kumbaya, we're gonna work with everyone, no one's getting fired, when in the truth, yes, everyone's getting fired as it seems. So why are they doing this? It's causing like unnecessary problems and headaches for everyone. Thanos, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Just showing support. Have you ever done voice work? I think you have a good voice. So many people mention my voice, and it's funny. I never considered voice work until like within the past year, because so many people have mentioned it, but I don't know. Thank you for the super chat. But what do you guys think about all this? You've heard my thoughts. I think this is silly. I think it's crazy. How do you feel about it? Black Star says, you wouldn't mind a what? What did I say? Yes, I did get the super chat. I already answered it. Arvin says, maybe this is for getting attention for future projects. Well, this would be a really silly way to do it because they're getting nothing but negative attention right now. Like, all of this is just bringing lots of negative publicity and negative attention to DC. Like, why would... I mean, I'm just speaking as someone who's a fan of just, like, going to the movies, and I just like comic book movies. Why on earth would I care about DC movies going forth into the future when they seem like such a convoluted mess behind the scenes? I mean, I know not everyone pays attention to, like, every movie news update, but I think there's been enough just, like, terribly embarrassing news coming out of DC that I do think that the general public is aware of kind of how messy the whole universe is at this point. Like, when you just constantly see headlines like this, like, oh, this person is in, oh no, they're out, oh, this person was lied to, oh no, everything's fine, oh, this isn't the DCU, no, it's not. Like, it's all confusing, even as a person who tries to stay up to date with it. Maximoff says negative attention is still attention. I agree up to a point. I think DC's at the point where more negative attention is a bad thing. And I think MCU is also getting bad attention. I think that's hurting it too. Prince says, I think it's a secret thing. Got spoiled. What? Oh, you think it was a secret that got out that... Oh, so Prince is... I think what you're saying, Prince, is that you think what happened was... It was maybe something they were considering, but then they changed their mind and it was supposed to be a secret. But Gal basically went out to the public and was like, let me tell you everything that James Gunn said. That is a possibility. Maybe I should do a poll about this. What do you guys think happened? Because there's multiple things that could be the case here. You guys know my opinion. I think James Gunn is a bold-faced liar because everything in his track record says so. But there is a possibility that maybe Gal just lied. I don't think she'd do that because what would she gain out of saying, like, yeah, we're doing a Wonder Woman 3 if that wasn't the case? So there's a possibility she lied, or maybe it's a possibility that James just changed his mind. Maybe he saw how badly The Flash did, and he was like, oh, maybe we can't do this soft reboot thing I was thinking. I don't know. I'm going to do a poll, because I'm curious. I think James just lied, but there could be other options. All right, starting a poll. What do you think happened, basically? What happened? I'm going to say James lied. That's one option. The second is Gal lied. And then the third is just going to be James changed his mind. All right. Asking the community now. What are you guys thinking? Oh, Baby Banana says both lied. Maybe that should have been an option. How would that work, though? Here's why I don't think Gal lied. Because it looks bad for her. It's embarrassing to be caught in a situation where you're, like, going around town saying, like, oh, yeah, I've got this movie being made. And then in Variety, just a few weeks later, they're like, actually, no, that's not happening. Like, this only puts her in a very awkward position. Shavy says, Marvel flopping, DC flopping, comic book movie era slowly coming to an end, I fear. Yeah, it really does feel like we're coming to the end of an era here. And I don't think, like, comic book movies are just gonna go away forever. I think Spider-Man movies are always gonna be popular, Batman movies are always gonna be popular, but I think the era of everyone just watching every superhero movie just because it was a superhero movie is probably going away. So let's look at the poll. Okay, actually a lot of you disagree with me. Interesting. 56% of you think James just changed his mind. Okay, possibly. Even if that's true, I think it was crazy that he was ever considering this in the first place, but alright. 41% of you agree with me. You're like, James is just a liar, which is, honestly, I think the truth. And only 4% of you think Gal lied, so I'm glad there's not a ton of you. I really don't think Gal lied. She loses too much by lying. But it's interesting that majority of you actually think James just changed his mind. For those who chose this option, I want to know why. Very curious. Luciana says there's no superhero movie fatigue. There's a mediocre superhero movie fatigue. Possibly, but I also think that the bar for what gets people excited to go see something in theaters keeps raising. So now, a superhero movie that 5 years ago, could have done, like, really, really well, like 800 million plus. I think that same movie now has to be, like, 10 times more exciting just to get people to want to go to theaters. So I do think it's still hurting the genre in general. The fatigue element, I mean. Oh, Natanya, you agree with me. Thank you, Natanya. Yellow Umbrella says, oh, is it blurry? I hope it's not blurry. Government Name says, if there is one thing I've learned in the era of movies, it's that negative attention on unnecessary mean negative sales. Yes, I know sometimes bad attention is good. People always say, like, any attention is good attention, but I feel like DC has just had so much bad attention that I think it's taking a toll of them. I think there is a limit to it. So I just ended the poll. Most of you think James just changed his mind. I think that's very kind of you guys. You're giving him the benefit of the doubt, but I disagree. 42% of you agree with me that he lied, and only 5% of you say Gal lied. So I think that's actually a very interesting outcome. Koharu says he's a liar. It's so clear. Thank you. We're one and the same. Okay, I guess I have to say alleged liar. I don't want to be sued. I don't know why he'd want to sue me, but he's an alleged liar. Fod Farid says the writer's strike isn't ending today. No, it's not. I don't think, like I said, I think the writer's strike and the SAG strike are ending together. and that's not till next year. All right. So, any more thoughts on the Wonder Woman situation before we move on to the next topic? Because we have a lot of fun entertainment news to discuss. I also want to get to the strike updates later. So, any more comments? Oh, I do want to get to the members section. One second. Yes. So I do want to get to the member section of the video. Again, if you want to be a member, please make sure you press the join button at the bottom of the screen. Becoming a member, you get a shout out in all of my live streams. And you also just get to support the channel and support me and be really great. So become a member today. Thank you. So in the member question for today, I asked you guys, what did you think about this whole situation between Gal Gadot and James Gunn? And what do you think DC should do with Wonder Woman as a character? And Kat Kofer, thank you, Kat, says, considering I didn't watch the first one, I can't say I care either way. Being misled like that has to be hard. Oh, I know. That's honestly the main thing I'm kind of, like, upset about, is that it just feels like James Gunn and the executives at DC just have a complete disregard for their talent and their feelings, and also their own, like, brands and optics. Like, it just seems like a complete disregard for talent, which is why I'm so surprised James Gunn seems to be so bad at his job. Because I thought, as a talent himself, I thought that he would understand the other side, and I thought that they would work together, but it seems not, which is weird to me. But thank you for the comment. But I feel like she has been an actress long enough to know that nothing is sure in Hollywood. They even filmed Batgirl and never released it. Hollywood is built on dishonesty. Truer words have never been spoken. The CoverGirl official says, never watched the Wonder Woman movies, but misleading someone like that is shady. I'm actually surprised a lot of you haven't seen the Wonder Woman movies. The second one is not great. You don't need to watch it. But the first one I actually highly recommend. It's very good. V says, are there any interesting movies coming out soon, Brittney? I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think so. I was looking at some of the movies coming out soon, and most of them are pretty bad. Not bad. I shouldn't say bad. I just think that they're not going to drive, like, a ton of interest either online or in the theater. The only, like, big movies that I could see being, like, a really big surprise hit coming out later in the year are Dune, if it doesn't move, and maybe even possibly the Napoleon movie, because it's starting to get a lot more hype. That's it. Honestly, a lot of these movies coming out, I think, are not going to do, like, that amazing. Government Name says, I saw the first one, not the second. That was very smart of you. Going back to the member comments, though, Memotelier, I hope I said that right, says, I really hope that the first one, I really liked the first Wonder Woman movie, but the second one was so awful that I prefer to keep the good memories of the first and let Gal Gadot go. Oh, dang. That's savage, but I kind of agree with you. I really don't care for the DC universe right now. If they're going to reboot it, they should give us some time to miss it. I'm definitely with you. And I loved the first Wonder Woman so much that to even imagine that by the second one, I'd be done with them, I'd be okay with them not having a trilogy, I would have thought you were crazy after the first movie if you told me that. But the second one was so bad, I'm actually kind of in agreement with you. Natanya Mulling says, I'm glad Wonder Woman 3 isn't happening since the last flop. It's shady that James Gunn let her on. I will miss her as Wonder Woman and liked her as a character. Yeah, she was very good as Wonder Woman. I don't think the issue was ever her. I think it was a bit of Patty Jenkins and other just like studio execs meddling in all of it. Honestly, I just feel the most bad for Gal in all of this. Okay, I'm glad most of you guys agree that Wonder Woman 1984 was not good. I was so upset, y'all. I was actually really excited for that movie because I loved the first one so much. And then, of course, I had to watch it from home because it was during the pandemic. And I was watching it just like, oh, this is gonna get better, right? Please tell me this movie gets better. And then it just never did. In fact, it got worse. The movie somehow got worse as it went on. By the third act, I was just like, wow, this feels like it was made by a completely different team. But yeah, that movie was not great. Again, please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Again, a lot of you who watch these videos actually aren't subscribed, so please make sure you subscribe today to never miss a live stream. All right, moving on to the next topic of the day. Now, oh god, this one, we've sort of talked about it, but it really looks like they're actually doing it. There's movement on it. But Mattel, because of how successful Barbie was, and Warner Brothers really, really want to make a Hot Wheels movie. They want to make that Hot Wheels movie. They're looking for directors. And I think this is, it could be good. It could be good. I do remember in that long article I already went over in a previous live stream, I think it was J.J. Abrams who was supposed to direct this, but I guess he's no longer attached to it because they're looking for a new director. I'm honestly really happy that J.J. Abrams isn't directing this anymore because he apparently wanted to take Hot Wheels in like a weird, dark, gritty direction, and I just think that's crazy and silly. Because Hot Wheels as a brand is supposed to be crazy and silly. So, yeah, I think it's good that they're getting a new director, but at the same time, I'm like, do we really need a Hot Wheels movie? I don't know. Oh no, you guys are throwing tomatoes in the chat. Oh man, you guys are really not into this movie. So no one's interested in the Hot Wheels movie. Good to know. Dania D says, I finally got to watch Barbie yesterday. It was amazing. Well, I'm so glad that you liked the movie. Rachel says, Mattel completely missed the point of why Barbie did well. Yeah, like I said, we're about to get like a movie made about every toy imaginable. And there is something very sad that Hollywood Entertainment is now trying to make toy movies for adults. Even though I really liked Barbie, and I think that they made a very sophisticated adult movie with it. The fact that we're just about to get a whole just litany of toy-related adult movies is like kind of sad. So yeah, not great. Yeah, it's very cash grabby, Koharu. Audrey Simmons says, what's going on with Wonder Woman 3? Well, we just talked about that previously. I do put all these live streams up after the recordings are done so you can watch them back if you missed them live. So please, I do encourage you guys to go back and watch the videos after the fact if you missed anything. Stan, I know, we do want original movies. I wish we did get more. But we'll see. I just had to bring this up because I think it's really funny. If they do a Hot Wheels movie, the only way I can see this working is if they give it the Barbie effect. They make it, like, they make the world very bright and silly and plastic. They make it, like, a world where, I don't know, cars rule everything, kind of like the movie Cars, but they're in this weird, cool Hot Wheels universe. Something maybe like that could work. I don't know. Little Joe's Animations, thank you so much for the super chat. Hollywood needs Tosk permission to make films now. Oh, Hollywood needs to ask permission to make films now. Yeah, they're working with a lot of toy brands, a lot of like brands that they didn't create to make movies now because they've kind of ruined a lot of their own brands. So that's becoming a problem. They're probably going to do a lot of anime adaptations soon once they realize anime is popular. So yeah, it's kind of a mess. This is why Hollywood is plummeting. At the moment where we get Barbenheimer, where we get two big hit original, cinema kind of movies, their response isn't, oh, we need more of that. It's, oh, we need more toy movies. That's the takeaway they got, and that's why Hollywood is struggling. These are the decisions that they're making. This is the thought process that they go through that I think needs to be fixed. But moving on, we also have a bit of sad news, but not really. I think it's good news. David Harbour says he's done with TV shows once Stranger Things 5 wraps filming. So I guess David Harbour, he's in the new, he's in this new car racing movie, Gran Turismo. He was also in, of course, the Black Widow movie. He's been in a number of movies. I feel like him and Finn Wolfhard are the two Stranger Things actors I've seen the most and like outside the show. And I guess he's like, I want to stretch my legs. I want to do movies now. I don't want to just do TV shows. And I mean, good for him. Good for him. But I guess he's basically saying he's done with Netflix after Stranger Things, which is fine. Or maybe he'll just do Netflix movies, but hopefully doesn't. In fact, I think he said, yes, okay, he does have more. He says, oh, sorry. He says, I want to make original movies that go to the movie theaters. You don't want to crap on the people that you love for this thing that you did that you also love. But at the same time, you kind of want to leave the nest. And I got more in me. I got different stuff in me, and I want you guys to see that. I don't want people yelling Hopper on the street every 5 minutes for the rest of my life. I mean, that's fair. He doesn't just want to be Hopper for the rest of his life. That's fair. I just think it's interesting. He's already thinking about moving on from Stranger Things. I think all those actors are. I'm very curious to see how their careers fare after the show. Like, who will actually still have a career after the show, essentially. Because it's very rare for, like, everyone from a big hit show to have a career afterwards. So I'm curious to see if David Harbour can really break the mold. I think he can. Kat Golfer says, I love how well organized you keep live streams. Oh, thank you so much, Kat. You are so good at keeping things on topic. It makes watching that much more enjoyable. Thank you so much, Kat. You guys are so kind. You guys say, like, the sweetest, kindest things. Thank you so much, Kat. Baby Banana says, good news, I want to see him in a movie. Yeah, he's really, really nice. Thanero says, I still want a Death Note movie. The Netflix one was okay, but they deviated too much. That's the thing about Hollywood adaptations. They keep ruining them because the people who do these adaptations think that they can do them better. And by doing them better, it means completely changing everything that the original fans liked about the property. And I think it's that kind of hubris that Hollywood needs to let go. They keep adapting all these IPs and properties that they don't know what to do with and don't understand. And then they get confused why people don't like the movies that they're making. Because they don't know what they're doing. So yeah, I agree with your point. Aubrey Small says, I think one of the underdogs from the show will remain relevant, but none of the main cast. That's very possible. That's very possible. I'm not sure. Wixoaks Trick says this is a Millie Bobby Brown stan household. She could also have a long career. I feel like I haven't seen her in much, though. Like, she's pretty much just done, like, other Netflix stuff. Stanley Z says, I agree with David Harbour. Hollywood needs to take more risks with original blockbusters, but I don't know if they care anymore. I don't think it's that they don't care. I just think that they're very, very scared to try anything new because they think anything new will flop. Even though we just had Barbenheimer, and that just completely disproves that theory. But so many people still believe it who are in charge of greenlighting stuff, so until they realize that they're wrong, we're just going to keep more of the same stuff we keep getting. But moving on from this story, I do want to get to some... Oh, speaking of Oppenheimer, that was a great transition, actually. Oppenheimer, again, is just doing fantastic. It just passed 600 million worldwide. In fact, this movie could go as high as 820 million to 900 million in its global run. What? This movie could make almost $1 billion. Oppenheimer, y'all. Oppenheimer will make more money than The Flash. It'll make more money than Indiana Jones. It'll make more money than Elemental. It'll make more money than The Little Mermaid. It'll make more money than just like any major blockbuster. Even Guardians. It's gonna make more money than Guardians. That's crazy to me. That's really, really crazy to me. I mean, happy for Christopher Nolan. Good for the entire cast. I think this is good for just movie theaters and cinema in general. So happy for the movie. In fact, in IMAX here in New York, they extended the IMAX 70mm run. I missed out on those tickets the first time around because they went so quickly. But because they extended the run here in New York, I'm actually going to go see Oppenheimer again in 70mm. Oh my god, 70mm IMAX. I'm going to see it again in the way that it was meant to be seen. Maybe I'll enjoy it better, but we'll see. I'll let you guys know if I do. Oppenheimer exploded. Yes, it did. But moving on from the Oppenheimer news, we're getting to the strike stuff finally. And I had to point out the fact that Suits. So you guys probably know that Meghan Markle's show Suits just got on Netflix not too long ago, and it's apparently blowing up. I haven't watched any of it, so I can't give you my review of the show, but the show is doing very, very well on Netflix. And it's got over 12.8 billion minutes viewed in just 4 weeks. So, like, that just shows you just how much people are watching this thing. Like, it's a huge hit on Netflix. But as we've been talking about all these streaming residuals that people just aren't getting, look at this. A writer from the series, even though the show's got 12.8 billion minutes viewed, he's only received a check for about $259. That's it. Dude gets less than $300, even though his show is a massive, massive hit. This is why they're striking, because the studios are keeping all the money. Or there could be another thing that we'll talk about in a second. But I think this just kind of shows you. Oh, I'm not on the right thing. Sorry, forgot to switch it. It just kind of shows you that the studios are being really, really greedy. $259, even though it's like the biggest hit on Netflix for an entire month. That's an insult. That's an insult. Yellow Umbrella, I know, I haven't seen this show either. The only reason I've heard of the show is because A, it's on Netflix now, and B, because Meghan Markle was in it. It is ridiculous, Josh. It is messed up. I'm glad you guys are agreeing. I'm glad you guys are also happy about Oppenheimer, too. A-Rail W says, I will have to check out Suits. I was actually thinking about checking at least the first episode. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know. If so many people are watching it, maybe it's actually worth watching. But moving on to more of just how people are being exploited in this industry, we talked about the other day how several workers, visual effects workers at Marvel, have voted to unionize. Well, here's a bit of more reason why they wanted to unionize and why they're very likely to strike next year along with IATSE. So apparently the visual effects workers are looking to unionize at Marvel because they currently get paid on a weekly flat rate. This means that they don't get paid extra for overtime hours or days and have no protections against tight turnarounds. So people were just being told that they had to work nonstop hours for very little rest, very tight turnaround times for not great money. And because they haven't been able to unionize up until now, they just had to deal with it. So they've just been mistreated this entire time. While us fans were enjoying the movies, this is the stuff that the visual effects workers were dealing with. It is awful. Yellow Umbrella says everyone's gonna be cheering about the downfall of the MCU. I think people are. There have been people who have been waiting for the MCU's downfall for a minute. Those people are so happy right now. And it gets worse, guys. It gets worse. The visual effects coordinator, Mark Patch, says that when working on WandaVision, he was told that he was not allowed to have any more days off in the next 3 months until we delivered all the episodes. So they were already working 18 hours a day, by the way, before this person said that they would not expect any days off for 3 straight months. 18 hours a day. No time off. That's awful. That's terrible. Like, no wonder, there's so many rumors and articles that have been coming out saying, like, visual effects workers want to work for any studio but Marvel, that Marvel's large slate depresses them because they know they're going to have so much to do. Like, this is why. Like, look at how awful they're treating them. That's terrible. 18 hours a day, 3 months straight, no days off. How would you guys like that? Do you guys think that sounds reasonable and fair? I know, it is messed up. Wolfie says, wow, this sounds a little like slavery. I know, it does kind of sound a bit like indentured servitude. A bit, don't you think? 18 hours a day. I mean, the only way they're even allowed to get away with that is because they're not unionized. That's why it's such a big deal that they voted to do so. Because I hope that they do strike, and I hope that they demand better working conditions, because this is ridiculous. I know. You only get about 6 hours of rest, but that also includes time to drive to and from your apartment, and then I know not everyone can just immediately fall asleep, so you're getting like maybe 4 hours of sleep a night, and then you're just going back to your job. I mean, how sad is that? Koharu says Hollywood is a straight up Disney villain. At this point, yeah, you're right. Shavi says Thanos should have Thanos should have just snapped his fingers and made the Disney CEOs disappear. Yeah, I know, right? If they just made half of all CEOs disappear, the world would probably be a better place. And then this story, which was also pretty crazy. Billy Porter says that he lives check to check already as is, and has had to sell his house already because of the Hollywood strikes. I was supposed to be in a new movie and then on a new television show starting in September, but none of this is happening because of the strikes. So Billy Porter is having to sell his house because, I mean, that just shows you how even people you may have heard of, people you would recognize, they're still not making like millions and millions of dollars so that they can just go without work for, long periods of time. Not everyone can do that in Hollywood, even if you are semi-well-known like Billy Porter. It's just kind of sad. So Fodfried says, who's Billy Porter? This is why I said semi-well-known. He's probably maybe more well-known in like the US. He's an actor. He's known for doing a couple of small roles, but I think he's mainly known for his personality and like how he styles himself on the red carpet. Stanley Z says, at least we have YouTube, indie movies, anime and manga, and video games to keep us company. Yeah, we're gonna need it. Nicholas Wilson says, wow, those working practices are illegal in the UK. I'm pretty sure they should be illegal in the US, but I don't know. They get away with a lot here. Aubrey Smalls, exactly. Famous does not equal rich. Exactly. Prince says, well, I mean, being in Hollywood is like a deal with the devil. You gave away your life, soul, everything. Yeah, honestly, the more I hear about like Hollywood behind the scenes, just from like other celebrities and stuff, the more I'm just like, that just seems like the most seediest place. I don't know if I'd even want to step foot there, but yeah, you're right. It's very, very sad, but here's the thing. Here's why I think that, again, why I think the strikes are going to go on for an extremely long time. Because, well, let's just go to the, I'm just going to go to the main shot. Here's why I think that I actually don't see these strikes going away or being done anytime soon. Because I think that they're going to have to completely rewrite and remake the entire economic model of Hollywood in order to settle these negotiations. Because I don't think that these streaming services, I think they're hiding. The reason why they don't want to reveal their viewership numbers is because I think a lot of the stuff that's on streaming just doesn't get watched. I think a lot of the stuff that's on streaming has like embarrassingly low viewership. And that's why a lot of those streaming checks are so low, is because no one's actually watching them. And then there's the other thing, where it's like, okay, take the Suits scenario that we just talked about, where Netflix has this really big hit show, but yet the actors and writers and whatnot are still getting really, really low residual checks. The thing is, even though Suits is still doing really well for Netflix and it's getting a lot of viewership, Netflix isn't making extra money from people watching Suits, unless people subscribe to Netflix specifically to watch Suits, which I bet was a very small portion of people. So they're not making any extra money by already releasing something on their platform. So what exactly are people getting residuals from, other than just supposedly viewership? You know what I'm saying? If people the way people used to get paid is like, say someone buys the box set of your hit TV show, and then you got residuals off of that box set because every time someone bought the physical DVDs of your show, you got money from it. But with streaming, once you place something on streaming, no one's buying that thing. It's not like you're paying extra for it. It's just free. It's part of your service. So there's no like really way to get residuals from it like there would be traditionally. So I think that people are they're asking for residuals from streaming, but I don't think they're really going to get as much as they want from it unless they completely change the whole streaming model to begin with. Does all of that make sense? Because I know that was maybe a little inside baseball, but did I explain that right? Fuad Fareed says, the fact that we aren't talking about Suits right now is crazy. We just talked about Suits. We just talked about Suits, Fraud. Baby Banana says, Hollywood is like North Korea. I think that's a bit extreme, but it is a very dark, weird, seedy place. The Best Comic King says, I hope a lot more independent and small studios would thrive during the strike. Right now, those people are the ones who are willing to risk for the biscuit. Yeah, I think a lot of people, again, they know they're fighting for their lives. They know that if they don't have, say, AI restrictions right now, literally their entire profession could be replaced by AI. So that's one thing that they're fighting. And also they need residuals, because if everything goes on streaming, like it's becoming the case, and no one's getting paid for their work being on streaming, then again, how are you supposed to be paid for your work? So that people feel like they're fighting for their lives and their livelihoods, because they are. And I don't think either side is going to give in, because the studios are not going to say no to AI restrictions. The studios are not going to say yes to AI restrictions. They want to use AI immediately. I mean, look at all these studios who are already hiring like AI professionals. They're not going to say no to that. But the creatives, the writers, and the actors are not going to say yes to AI. So that's one issue that both sides are never going to agree on. And then the whole residuals thing, where they'd have to reveal their viewership numbers, and the studios are never going to say yes to that. But the creatives are also never going to say no to residuals. So it's just, there's too many sticking points that I think just both sides are never going to move on. And why I think, again, this is just something that's going to go on for a very long time. Rachel says, I disagree with the mindset. Comparing subscribers to Netflix like subscribing to Kindle Unlimited. Authors get paid by page slash read, regardless of why someone subscribed to the platform. I get what you're saying. You're saying like people need to get paid per view, and I agree with you. I do think people should get paid per view on the streaming apps. But what I'm saying is I think most of those streaming services, most of those shows on those streaming services and movies, they just don't actually have a lot of viewership. I mean, if for the big hit shows that they can afford to like raise the residuals, yes, obviously do it. But I just think the majority of these shows, even if you did raise the residuals, you still would be getting paid like almost nothing, because I think a lot of these shows don't do well. And here's why I think a lot of the shows don't do well. You know what? I'm going to make my point right here while I'm on the internet, because one of my last jobs, I was an audience development specialist for a couple of movie websites. And it was my job to keep track of everything, every movie and show that was coming out, not just on cable and broadcast, but also on streaming. Because I had to make sure that everyone knew when certain big movies and shows came out so that we could make articles about them. That was my job. And I'm about to show you a huge list. List 2023 that shows you literally everything that comes out in 2023. Like just by month, by the way. This is a really, really helpful website that I use all the time, actually. Hold on. I want to show it to you guys. So going to here, to Rotten Tomatoes, look at this. You can just go by month. Look at all the crazy amount of stuff that comes out each and every month. So we're just in August, right? Look at this. August 1st. You have something from Paramount Plus called Mixtape. No one has heard of it, and I bet you no one's gonna watch it. You have Netflix, Untold Volume 3. What the heck is that? But apparently there's 2 volumes of it. You have season 1 of some show on some streaming service called BritBox. Again, I guarantee you no one's watching that. You have something called Viaplay. There's a streaming app called Sundance Now. This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. There's too many streaming services, too many channels, too many of everything, and they're creating too much content that no one's watching. It was my job to go through this site, like at least once a week, just to see what was new on here, and every day it just blew me away that there was so much stuff on here, and they constantly update it too, that just no one has heard about, and I know for a fact no one is watching. Like, look at this. We have some Netflix movie called The Dirty Truth About Your Food. I did see it. It's like some documentary. Maybe someone will watch it. But it's like, okay, so we have something on E! News, Hulu, Netflix, all this stuff on Netflix. Again, Netflix is releasing how many things? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, just 6. Netflix is releasing 6 things on Thursday, August 3rd alone. Or they already did because we're past that. But they released 6 things on August 3rd alone. Like, that's a crazy amount of content. That's too much. It's too much. Have you guys even heard of this stuff? This is Rotten Tomatoes, guys. This is just look up Rotten Tomatoes TV premiere dates 2023. You'll find it. Tegan and Hopperoni says BritBox is a British streamer, a bit fuddy-duddy for an older audience generally. Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you for letting me know. But that just shows you, again, there's so many streaming services, and it's like, I haven't even heard of a lot of them. Probably most of them. Brian Mosley says, I bet all the streaming services will start merging, buying each other, and then paring down the number releases / content. Eventually, it will be like old TV with 4 major streaming services. I think that's where we're getting to. I think we're just all going to have to merge these streaming services, like you said, into like probably 4 big ones. Because this is ridiculous. It was my job to go through this and like try to find stuff that people would be interested in that we could write articles about. And every day that I would go through this, I was just like, who is watching all this? So much stuff no one has heard of, and I know for a fact no one is watching. But this is prime example, proof of what I'm talking about when I say we're making too much stuff, there's too much on streaming, and I know for a fact most people ain't watching all this. So that's why I actually think that the viewership is going to be very low on these streaming apps if they do release the viewership. That's probably why they don't want to release the numbers. Because again, look at all this stuff. We're just in August. This is Thursday, August 17th. Look at how much stuff is releasing in just this like one day. Look at 18th. Do you guys see my point here that I'm trying to make? The cover girl says Hollywood should completely reboot. They really should. Honestly, I think that there's a non-zero chance these strikes lead to a total collapse of the industry that they have to completely reboot from. And because of how bad things are going, I'm not entirely against that, but I hope we can avoid the worst of it. The Best Comics King says, I dig up horror movies no one will ever watch. That's true, but how many are there that are watching those movies? Is it enough to warrant all these expensive budgets that they're spending on this stuff? Because that's the crazy thing. Like, look at this. Peacock. Because Universal thought it was a good idea to name their streaming service Peacock. They have a season 2 of a show called Killing It. Never even heard of it, but apparently it's on season 2. And I bet you they spent some stupid amount of money on this, even though almost no one's watching it. Like, you're just wasting money. Danny says, no problem. Yeah, no one's going to be able to watch most of this stuff. That's the thing. You're segmenting your own audience by doing all this stuff. I mean, just look at this. This is what the actual programming looks like per day, per week. It's unsustainable. So I just thought I had to point this out because this is a conclusion I came to while working at that job where I was just like, wow, this streaming stuff really, It's not sustainable. But anyway, that's pretty much all that I had to talk about today. We do have just like about 10 more minutes that we can do just an open Q&A about everything. Could be about any topic you want, anything that we talked about today or anything just in general. It was really fun talking to you guys today. I love that you guys just like nerding out with me every day. It's so fun. Again, please make sure that you subscribe. A lot of you just aren't subscribed who watch these, so please make sure you subscribe to never miss a live stream. What do you guys think? I want to hear I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your questions. Yeah. Armia says there are too many options and they all suck. Yeah, exactly. They do. Thanara says, well, Netflix is curated per user. I think most of the smaller services are trying to get to that level. Netflix is trying to be the everything app where they have something for every kind of user out there. I think that's probably where we're going to get to. We're probably just going to have like 4 super apps. I think all these tinier niche apps, I think they're just too small to compete long term. And I think most of these are probably going to go away. Koharu, I have no favorites. I love you all equally. Martin Jackson says, targeting small niches isn't a bad ideal as long as they budget correctly. You know, the Discovery app was a niche app that was budgeted well, but then they merged with Max, and now that thing is a whole mess. So, I don't know. I just think we need a lot less streaming services. I'm glad you enjoyed the show, Jax. Oh, Yellow Umbrella says, I've been subscribed since the first Peter Pan stream. That was the first video I saw of yours. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed the stream and you've been watching since, so thank you. Tegan and Hopperoni says, I find Netflix depressing to use and I can't explain it. No, I'm definitely with you. Every time I open Netflix, I feel like not only am I kind of overwhelmed by choice, but it's like, I want to watch something, but not really, but I don't know what. I just kind of want something to, like, throw on. I don't know. I'm always in, like, a weird mood when I'm trying to watch something on Netflix, so I definitely agree with you there. Little Joe's Animation, thank you so much for the super chat. You guys are so kind. Love your channel. Why don't you make videos? I'm actually going to put out another video next week. You know, these live streams take actually a long time to set up and put together. I want to make more videos, and I think I'm gonna segment out part of my live streams for videos, but I don't know if I have time to make like whole separate video essays and live streams. It's only just me. I don't have editors or like anything like that. Koharu says, do you normally watch YouTube or Netflix, Disney Plus, or something else? I watch a lot of YouTube. Like, a lot of YouTube. Like, I've been trying to branch out and watch more scripted, like, Netflix stuff. Like, I told you guys I wanted to start getting into anime. So I tried to start an anime show the other night. And I don't know. I think it's, again, maybe it's me. Maybe it's did social media ruin my attention span or whatever? But it's just like, I'm finding it harder and harder to find something that I can really get into that actually captures my interest. So then I just go back to YouTube. Natanya Moling says, what's your favorite Harry Styles song? Aw, thank you for the question, Tanya. You're always great. I have a lot of his that I really like. But I think it's probably, Adore You. I think it's Adore You. But thank you for the question. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this stream today. This has been a nice stream. I like the Friday streams are a lot more chill. There's usually more time for user questions, so this is a nice live stream. CCG says you should live stream and include a niche segment each time. Well, I'm sort of getting to that, so we'll see. I'm trying to order my live streams in a way that I can segment out things. I'm working on it. You'll actually see one next week. Danny says, I mostly watch YouTube because TV shows are such a commitment of time and emotional energy. That's a great point. They are a big time commitment. That's true. Like, trying to watch a whole show and do everything else is like, I gotta make time for that. That's a good point. All right, so I'll just take like 3 more questions and then that'll be the end of the stream today. Again, thank you everyone who came here today. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel to never miss out a single live stream. And I'll see you guys on Monday at 1 p.m. Maiden, I'm glad you like the live streams. I prefer them as well. Oh, you've been watching me for 4 months now, Molly. Thank you so much, Molly. You're so kind. Koharu, there's not a WTF segment every live stream. That's just if there's something extra that I want to talk about. It's not a guarantee every live stream. Alright, I'll take like 1 more question and that'll be it. Oh, I'm glad you like the live streams, the Comic King. Alright. I'll take Kalina's question. Do you like Broadway musicals? And I'll say yes. I recently just saw Wicked on Broadway, actually, and it was fantastic. I loved it. I saw that. I saw Book of Mormon. And I saw... oh, God, what was the first one? Oh, I saw The Lion King. How can I forget? I saw The Lion King. Oh, and I saw the Michael Jackson show on Broadway. So I've seen a number of shows on Broadway here so far. They're all great. But yeah, I'll see you guys on Monday. We'll talk 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as always. I'll see you then. And it was great talking to you guys. Bye.